Rose and Zoe overthink, ask you questions, leave you on the brink. What's the point of existence? Welcome back to Brains Unpicked.
Hello and welcome back to Brains Unpicked. I'm Rose.
I'm Zoe.
And we are two 20-something-year-olds who chronically overthink and are taking you on that journey with us as we unpack it all.
Sure are.
So let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business to
Defeat
the Huns. Yeah. So, Rose, what's been happening? How's life?
Life's
Going?
happening, yeah.
It's going, running.
How about you?
Yeah. Do you know what? I've actually been significantly happier recently.
I'm glad to hear that.
Is it because the sun's went out and the seasonal depression is melting? Potentially.
I think it might, honestly, I've noticed it too. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean that the sun's out and I have a smile on my face?
Yep,
like, what's going on?
I have been in a much more pleasant mood than I maybe have been the last 2 months.
Nice.
So apologies to anyone who's seen me between the months of January and February. My condolences.
It is a dark time, though. But maybe,
we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's looking up. Okay.
Moving on.
So, what's your minor inconvenience?
Right, so my minor inconvenience, I don't know if you remember this, it was a few weeks ago now, and I don't think I spoke about it at the time.
Okay.
But I got a new tin opener. Did I speak about the tin opener?
I don't think you... Not that to my memory,
Right,
anyway.
so I got... so I haven't had a tin opener for a while. I think that my old one must have, like...
I vaguely, actually, now that you've said that, I vaguely remembered you saying that you were opening a tin with a knife or something.
Yeah, so I don't know if I brought it to the podcast, right? So I have been stabbing open tins with knives, right? That's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I have nearly injured myself quite a few times doing this. So I went to Asda, I just picked up the cheapest can opener, right? Because I was like, I don't use a lot of canned food, but I've been eating tuna a lot recently. Anyway, that's not the point. So I was trying to use this. I'm going to insert a clip, or I'll post a clip potentially. I don't know how confident I feel about posting this because it's dramatic. But I was learning how to use a can. I know how to use a can opener, but I could, for love nor money, get this can opener to work.
Right.
And I was like twisting it.
What kind is it? Like,
I mean, it's a tin opener. I don't know.
No, but you get ones that like sit on the top, and when they open the tin of tuna, they take all the paper off with it. Or you get ones that just open like the top bit.
No, this takes the full top of the lid off.
Right. I've got one of them as well.
But
hate it.
It comes and it's just like a grey plastic thing with a top bit on it. And I was trying to spirit, nothing was happening. And I threw a tantrum. So I was videoing this at the time. Threw a tantrum about the fact that I couldn't get it. Like I was bashing the tin with like how annoyed I was getting at the fact I bought a tin opener and then I couldn't use it. And I threw it across the kitchen. And as I threw it, it like expanded and this other bit of the tin opener came out. Have you seen this video?
No.
I'm so sure I sent it to you. So the tin opener like exploded open. So there's like an arm that you're supposed to pull out to then secure it on to then turn it. Which, see if you see this tin opener, it's not as obvious as it looks, right? I was livid.
Why would they put secret compartments on a tin opener?
Yeah, so my minor inconvenience is, why are they making... What are they called? Appliances? Can you call a tin opener an appliance?
I think so.
Why are they making it so difficult? What is that playing at? Get a grip. I shouldn't have to throw it across the kitchen before that little arm comes out. Because when I tell you, I thought it had an arm, so I was pulling it that bit.
Yeah.
And it didn't activate until I threw it.
Can you imagine though if you had been like, if you had never thrown it, you would have just never...
Yeah, but it's proper tantrum behaviour.
Listen, we've all been there, we've all done it.
That's my minor inconvenience. What's yours?
I can't speak for everyone. I've definitely done shit like that. So, right. Over the last few weeks, I have noticed a pattern of inconveniences for me, and I've come to a conclusion that basically there's some sort of cosmic force in the universe that is trying to prevent me from exercising. I don't know if they've just decided that I would be too powerful if I lost weight that I was hoping to lose. So they've decided to stop, just keep me down at all costs. They're like, we know that bitch is gonna burn the world down, so we need to stop her. Basically, on the podcast a few weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, I was talking about I went out a walk and the sole of my shoe fell off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
It's just kept getting worse, basically. So then what happened? I walked to work one day, came home, my car had been hit by a lorry.
I wondered if you were going to talk about the car
I had to talk about the car.
I don't know if that's a minor inconvenience or a major.
It's more of a major inconvenience, but it's part of the pattern of.
So should we give a little bit more context to this story?
So I walked to work last Friday morning, just trying to walk more. Then Zoe gave me a lift home because we and a few of our other friends and colleagues were going to go for a walk.
Friends and colleagues, so you need to decipher whether you're a friend or a colleague based on that.
I think you'll find they're all both.
They're all colleagues. Explicitly.
Decided that we were going to go for a walk somewhere else. So I needed to drop stuff off home. So my house was on the way. Zoe just ran me home, and then I was going to meet them at the walk, like where we were going to meet to walk. And as Zoe pulled in about to mine, she went, "Oh my God, what happened to your car?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Got out of the car. The entire, driver's side, not quite the entire, but most of the driver's side has been, scraped, dented, gouged.
Yeah, and it's so funny. So there was four of us in the car. I instantly get out, so pulled over, I get out of the car, and I was like, turned into full dad mode. I was like, right, let's make sure your door's open, let's have a look at how do you think that happened, and you were like, should I go speak to the barbers across the road? And I was like, probably. And I turned into full dad mode. I was like, right, you let me know if you want to come a walk now, because I feel like that might be a bit much. And and I get back into the car, and they were just sat silent. I don't know what to do. And then we felt really guilty the whole way driving home, because we were having a good old time, having a wee giggle and a laugh, and every now and then we go, "Oh, isn't this so sad about Rose?" do you think she would be concerned that we're laughing right now?
No, by all means, honestly, if I didn't laugh, I would have cried. Basically,
you handled it very well, actually. I was expecting you to have full-scale meltdown about this. I think that you handled it way better than I was expecting.
The meltdown hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
No, there's been no meltdown. Shit happens, you know what I mean? The one thing I'm annoyed about is that they didn't leave a note or anything, so,
I wouldn't say that you're a particularly calm or rational person when things go wrong.
Thank you very much.
Are you?
No, but, you know what I mean?
Your window of tolerance for things going wrong is quite small, Rose.
Fair, but in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't in the car. I hadn't been smashed into by a lorry. Do you know what I mean?
I was impressed at how rational you were.
Yeah, I did then, as soon as you drove away, immediately phone my actual dad.
You were like, fake dad's away, let's contact the real one, the real deal.
Yeah. But yeah, so had whole spiel, had to phone the police, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I was like, bloody typical the day I walked to work. Couldn't have just driven.
Yeah.
Anyway, then the very next morning, I get up and go to the gym on a Saturday morning, and me and one of the girls that goes car share, and she was coming to pick me up. And I had set my alarm for the back of 7 to be like, right, need to get up so that I have plenty of time to get ready for her coming to get me. You know when something in your brain goes, you're having a suspicious amount of sleep here, and I thought I better. My alarm hasn't gone off. It won't be time yet, but I'll just check. It was 5 minutes before she was coming to get me, and I had to shoot out of my bed. That was the quickest I have ever gotten ready in my life.
You should just give up exercising.
Basically, that's not even the last one. Oh. Then, this week I had a message. I was on a waiting list. You have to book into sessions. I'd been on the waiting list all week. Then I got a message saying, "Are you all right? You didn't come to the session you were booked in to tonight." And I was like, I didn't know. It had automatically put me in from the waiting list, and I had an email about it. I hadn't seen it, so it didn't go. So basically,
does that mean you've wasted your money?
No, it's fine. Like, it just would have been like if someone had been on the waiting list and I had just not bothered to show up, I would have felt bad.
Yeah.
It turns out it was fine on this occasion, but like, don't want it to happen again. But it was a day that I could have been at the gym because I wasn't going to get as many times this week. Anyway, that I'm just like at the point where clearly something up there is like, we've got to keep that bitch down.
Yeah.
She's going to be too powerful if she reaches her peak strength. We have to stop her at all costs. So they put loads of obstacles in my way. I don't mind the small ones, but if they could not, hit my car with larger vehicles, that would be nice.
That'd be convenient of them to stop that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my, I would say that was more like a trail of inconveniences.
I feel like at this point that's creeping on major.
Yeah.
But
a little bit. Yeah. But I will give you that. I am surprised by myself. I have handled it quite well.
Yeah, I think you've handled it quite well. It was maybe just
I've not cried. I've actually I've not hit that point yet. But
Perfect.
maybe I will. That'll probably come if they don't find the person that did it and I have to pay my excess and I don't get it back and then my insurance goes up and then I lose my no claims bonus. And
the
blah,
breakdown
blah, blah.
is in the post regarding it.
So come back in a few months.
See how you going.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, do you want to move on to our Brains Unpicked segment?
Yes, let's go.
Have you got one?
I do have one. So what I have been wondering is what happens to you in your mid-20s that you basically just revert back to you as a teenager.
Oh, regression?
Yeah.
The regression period?
Yeah. So literally all my friends have been reverting back to our emo youths. Like, we never strayed too far away, but I have been fully back.
Yeah.
Like, I've been listening to like Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, all the good shit, and listening to it, I'm like, oh my god, this is resonating now as like a mid-20s person. What the hell was happening at 13 when I was in my room? Like, oh my god.
Yeah. I have a playlist on Spotify called Regression Station, and that's where all my songs that I listened to as a teenager, they all get fired into there. I've
got one as well. It's called The Gospel of Giving Up, and I'm very much vibing with it. But like I could go fully back and like go watch all the shows that I loved then as well.
I saw like a podcast that was saying like your 20s are like, everyone says that your 20s are the best years, but actually like they're one of the hardest, and it's because like this is the first time that you've ever had to like do everything, and everyone's at different stages and your life isn't as routine as like it's always been. Yeah. So it's like it just feels like a car crash at all times. And I don't know if the regression part is just like trying to heal yourself a little bit of being like
get some of that youthful
get that kind of safe space when everything feels like it's on fire or something. But no, I think it definitely, like, I go through phases of regression where it's like, well, I say regression as if that's like big and scary, where like I just go back to being like 14 or something like that, or like,
but like genuinely I must have been really in my feels at 13, which I don't really know why, because there wasn't hardly anything coming over me. But now I'm like, this is good shit. Like, if I could go and see any of those bands, if they went on tour, I'd be there.
I'm going to see You Me at 6.
Oh, that would be so good.
On the 22nd of March, and I am buzzing out my tatas. This is their last tour. Because they're which 20 years of,
I feel, touch wood, I don't know a whole lot. I liked their music. I don't know a whole lot about them as a band, but I feel like they're one of the few bands of that era that are safe.
Don't say that. Okay. Because now there's going to be a claim and you're going to have ruined my whole life because they're one of my favourite bands.
No, I touched the wood.
It'll be all your fault.
Nope.
I'll blame you.
I touched the wood. You did too. There you go.
I will blame you. If anything comes out but You Me at 6, I'll be like, that is Rosemary's fault.
Rosemary.
I'll be like, this is everything to do with you.
and nothing to do with them.
No, it'll be all your fault. You will have orchestrated this.
Oh God!
Because I was talking about it the other day. They're doing like tattoo pop-ups, and I was like, I just cannot, in good conscience, get a tattoo of a band or a TV show.
No,
and this isn't like. This is personal preference, do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying if you've got a tattoo of a band or a TV show or something that like you're a problem, you're not. And what I'm saying is I can't in good conscience do it in case they get cancelled. And then I have to live with something on my body of someone who's like an absolute horrific human being.
Yeah. Oh God. See if I had been able to get all the tattoos that I thought I wanted.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God. Oh. I would have had like several sessions of tattoo removal.
It's tragic, so that's why I won't get any kind of lyrics or TV show references or anything like that tattooed on me, because I'm like, I just cannot deal with the fact that that person or that situation could potentially get cancelled, and then I have to live with that forever, and people then question me on it. Yeah. And I'm like, just wanted a nice tattoo. But yes, so they are coming. I think it's the Barrowlands as well. Love the Barras.
Brilliant.
So I'm super excited.
That'll be
yeah, I might cry a lot.
So you should.
I will be a mess.
We're all like, all my friends are poised at the ready if My Chemical Romance are going on tour. Yeah. I'll be there.
My favourite artist I've ever seen live, or that I think does the best performances, is Bring Me the Horizon.
I've never seen that.
Their set design, or whatever you call it, is always amazing. They do such a good show. Every time I've seen Bring the Horizon, I've left so happy. I just think that they are wonderful performers.
Nice. Did you see Ollie Sykes apparently came out at one of the You Made It 6 shows to do, is it Bite My Tongue?
Stop.
No, Time Is Money?
It would be Bite My Tongue.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
That would never happen in Glasgow.
He's a little bit scary now.
What has he done to his
face?
No.
He wasn't a bad looking man.
He was a handsome man. I really like Drop Dead as well. Do you remember his, like, I don't know if he still does Drop Dead. It was like his clothing line.
Yeah.
I had clothes and all that from it, and then I've still got a bag that I use regularly. Like, anyway.
Do you know who was also, and to this day is a very fine looking man? Andy Biersack.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So, well, I move on to my Brains Unpicked. It's kind of off topic from what you've just said. It kind of goes maybe back towards the exercise thing. I've wrote it down because I want to make sure that I say it right. Do you ever become aware of your hands and feel like an NPC? Particularly when you're walking. Like, where do your arms and hands go when you're walking? And do you get to a point where you just feel like, I'm an NPC right now? Like, this is like
so wait, have you spent time in my brain? Because I'm so often like, what am I going to do with my hands? See, if I don't have pockets to put your hands in, or I'm like, because you have actually said before, why do you swing your arms? And now I'm like, I was already overthinking where my hands went. But who just walks with their hands just like straight down?
So I've walked past or drove past people and I've watched how they're walking. It's always arms and hands. I'm like, NPCs are defos real. Yeah. Like, depending on how your arms move, I'm like, this can't be real. This is a simulation. Yeah. You are an NPC in my life. But then I'm like, sometimes I'm walking and I'm like, oh, I've went into NPC mode. Clearly I'm a like NPC for someone else's story right now, and I'm just like, what a fucking piece of Lego.
See, but I think it's natural. It's more natural to do something with your hands than just leave them hanging. Because who walks like that?
I don't know. See, if you focus too much on your own hands or your own arms, or like you focus too much on like other people walking, it becomes very apparent that NPCs probably exist.
So I've always rationalised this in my head as being a Scottish thing, in that we're brought up to be embarrassed by everything.
Speaking about Scottish, right? Have you ever heard the saying, buttoned up the back?
I've heard it, but I don't think I've used it.
So I said it today. Yeah. I turned round to someone and I was like, do you think I'm buttoned up the back? And they all just looked at me like glazed over. Yeah. Like, what? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that this wasn't a up here term. Turns out it's a Glasgow term. Yeah. I didn't know that, buttoned up the back.
Yeah. I wouldn't have ever used it.
Yeah, and it just means like if someone's lying to you and you can tell, you go, oh, do you think I'm buttoned up the back? Like, do you think I'm a fool? Like,
yeah, sort of like, do you think I was born yesterday?
Yeah. But I didn't realise that wasn't... And it's weird that sometimes you just say something and everyone in the room's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what?
But then what we've discovered is that quite frequently lots of people in the room are saying things that Zoe doesn't understand and she doesn't ask for any clarification.
I am the queen of just pretending I know what's going on. I am constantly in any situation
But you must think
completely
people
pretending.
are speaking a different language up here and then just being like, I don't understand a word anyone says and just...
It's called assimilating. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
not assimilating though. Assimilating is learning.
No, it's just pretending.
No,
not
it's
to learn.
just fitting in.
No, sometimes I just, like, I'll sit in a room and I'll not be listening to the conversation and then I'll pick up 2 words and then I'll just pretend that I know the whole conversation that's just been had. And I managed to join in. I think I'm really good at... I genuinely think that I have never learned how to have a conversation and I'm just really good at contextualising. Like, I don't think I've learned how to listen and hold a conversation. I think I can just contextualise.
Is this like Nick Miller in that he doesn't think he knows how to read?
Yeah.
He's just learned a lot of words.
Yeah, like I genuinely feel
memorise.
like the amount of times I am not present in a conversation and then I come and I must like have a little backlog in my brain that is listening, but like for the most part I won't listen to the most of what people say, and then I just like join in as if I know what's going on. I've not got a clue. 90% of the time I've not got a clue what's going on. I just pretend I do. I'm really good at pretending. Like, you'd be so surprised how often I don't listen.
I see it
sometimes when we watch this back. I see it myself.
that you've
That I'm not listening to a word that's coming
I'm
out your
speaking
mouth.
away and you're just like la 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 la.
Genuinely, I have watched. See if anyone watches it back and watches any episode back. Guaranteed, at any point in time, there is somewhere in that episode where I am not in the room, and then I just reply to you as if I am.
Wow, that makes me feel really seen and heard. So thank you so much.
I do it all the time. I just pretend. I know the perfect time when to laugh at situations. I know the perfect time when to
Here
say
I
a wee
was
word.
thinking I was funny and
I think you're funny, but I just can't guarantee I'm always listening.
right, fair enough.
I'm really Saskia is one. Brought up Saskia again. One of the only people who's really good at clocking when I'm not listening at all.
Right.
And she knows, and she's like, "You're not listening to me," and I'm like, and she's like, "No, you're not," and she's one of the only people that spots it.
Right. Oh well. Okay,
So,
I'm gonna watch
guys,
like
watch,
a hawk now.
watch out for it because
Yeah.
it exists. Or if you're listening, you get no chance.
So it's the hands
Also,
thing.
Sorry,
Oh my God.
more random things from my brain. We have 2 random people in America that listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So when I look at the insights and stuff, we've got random Americans that are listening to us. Hi, America.
Hiya.
What the fuck?
Right. So we have spoken about this before, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, are you from here, or and like this is a bit of like home, or are you from America and actually think what we have to say is interesting? Because I don't think I could find that interesting.
Yeah, well, if you are the one of 2 Americans that might listen
Please
to this
tell
podcast,
us.
please get in touch with
Yeah.
us because we are bewildered by
Yeah,
this.
and I think it's amazing. Like we're like, that's insane. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you. But yeah, I just want to know everything. Like, why are we of any interest to you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine us being of any interest to most people,
Yeah.
let alone people that far away. Do you know what I
I
mean?
remember my auntie turned around to me, I doubt she still listens, and she went, I feel like you need to do something more. All you do is have a conversation. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, you're so right. That is what we do.
We should do dance routines and
we do need to get like another guest or something. Anyone want to be a guest? Let us know.
Anyway, would you want to come over from America?
Yeah.
We can't pay for that, but
We're happy to see you.
yeah. But yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would like to be a guest, please be.
Yeah, or
get in
like
touch.
want to contribute
Yeah.
anything, please contribute.
Yes.
Since it's not just us having a conversation.
When Zoe's not even listening to me,
Yeah.
maybe someone can come and actually listen to the words I'm saying.
That would be so fair.
So yeah, the NPC thing. I've always thought the overthinking of the hands. I could never tell if it was me as an anxious person or if it was like being Scottish, and that I feel that we're kind of
British culture.
Yeah, we're brought up to be inherently embarrassed by so many things. And I feel like part of me is like, that's why I'm like, oh my God, walking with my hands in pockets is embarrassing. Oh, but walking with my hands out of pockets is embarrassing because what do? Holding an umbrella? No. Wearing a hat? No. But I don't think anyone else is embarrassing wearing a hat. But me wearing a hat? Too embarrassing.
I think it depends on the hat.
Yeah. My friend came out of the hairdressers the other week, and she was voice messaging me, and she was like, so she stays down in England, and she was like, there's something embarrassing about, you know, when you come out of the hairdressers and your hair is perfect, and it's like people are probably going to know that you've just been at the hairdressers because you couldn't recreate that, or it's just so good.
Or you've got really nice hair but no makeup on.
Yeah, and it's like...
and joggies and that.
It's like middle of the day or like early morning, and you're like, this is too embarrassing. No one else would ever think that. Like, if I saw someone, I'd be like, oh, maybe they've just had their hair done. I probably wouldn't think twice about it. But you're walking there and you're like, your hair's perfect, and you're like, oh my God. People are going, oh, she's just been at the hairdresser.
Well done it.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really cool if NPCs and that were real. Like, we are just part of the simulation.
But then, I suppose that's kind of like being main character as well, and that you just think that everyone outside of, like, when they leave your scene, they've gone back into their NPC mode.
I do believe that.
So do I.
I fully believe that if I am not with you, you no longer exist.
Yeah.
Is that narcissistic? Probably. And I'm aware that you do exist, so it's not in the sense of like, but I just feel like you're no longer a character in my story and you're back.
Yeah.
Like, I very much believe if you see someone once and you have an interaction with them and then you never see them again, they were never meant to be part of your story anyway. But if they like, so like, there's people that I had a big group of friends in school and then I've not seen any of them since, and when I go home I never see them. Yeah. And we're all from the same area, like, but we never ever, because it's just what happens.
Yeah.
Like those people are just not meant to be in your life anymore. Or you go on, I don't know, holiday and you meet friends with these people and then you just never see them again.
Yeah.
Like, people that are meant to be there for a longer time will end up there, and people who won't. And I think that is part of the NPC thing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Their story's gone off elsewhere.
Yeah.
You've been a side character in their story.
Yeah.
And they've been a side character in your story, and you move on. Like, I keep saying that Aberdeen is my, like, spin-off season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of, like,
where you're... Yeah. Like... I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but they've got the other practice
like, this is a wee spin-off season where like I disappear for a while. So like with all my friends who are living like their series, I've disappeared from this main show. Do you know what I mean?
But that also means when your spin-off series comes to an end, that either means I will never be seen again, or I will just be not a series regular, and I will come into like guest star in like one episode a year or something.
Or, you know, when they do that integration of, like, a new character, like, remains in it.
Yeah.
So I've been watching Brassic recently. Right. And I binge watched... So I had started Brassic ages ago. I've binge watched the full 6 series, and I've just finished it last night, actually.
Nice.
But you can see, like, there's the main set of characters, and there's side characters, but as the series goes on, some of the main characters step out, and like these side characters become more regular characters. Okay. And I feel like that, you know what I mean? Like, life is very much like that, but everyone's living their own individual show or story or whatever, and you just don't realise it. And I am fully aware of it, that I am my own main character in my own show, but everyone else is a side character in mine, and I'm a side character in theirs.
Yeah. So like when in your mind, when we go our separate ways, you think I'm off doing a side quest, but really I'm doing my main quest, and you're doing your side quest. Yeah. But you're doing your main quest.
Yeah, it's like almost like we're sharing that scene.
Yeah.
And then we go separate ways, like Truman Show vibes, like everyone's living their own Truman Show.
Yeah, see, the Truman Show terrified me, and like I can't think about the Truman Show too much because I'm always like, am I being surveilled? Am I the real one, and everyone else is
I think that what they've done
fabricated into my life,
rather than fabricating us all. I think that they've just put a bunch of people who all are like, there's just cameras everywhere. Someone is sat watching it all, and you choose what show you tune into. You're like, oh, am I going to watch Zoe's show? Am I going to watch Rosie's show? And then you go, Rose and Zoe are sharing this scene like crazy. But like, to other people, it's like, oh, well, you're not part of their show. You're just in this. You're just a background character. You're just an extra in Susan's coffee shop disaster episode. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, like in, I don't know if you've ever watched Friends, but they often have like random guest stars that don't contribute to the actual plot of the episode. But like, there's one where it's like Billy Crystal and Robin Williams that just sit in their bit in the coffee shop and they're having like a discussion and they're all just sat there like, what the hell? Like when you're logging into somebody else's, like conversation at a coffee shop being like, this is really interesting, I'm trying to hear what's going on. That's just what's happening there. Yeah
But that's what I've been thinking about.
Yeah,
I just think that like it's so crazy. Like I wonder what do you guys think at home about like NPCs and the thought like we could be living in a simulation, because it's dumb, like it's so dumb, like it's not like, I don't really know, no one knows the fucking answers to what we're doing, but like, do you think we're in a simulation? If we were in a simulation, what would you enjoy? Like, what do you think like the highlights of it, or like, do you view your life as a spin-off show? Like, what's your thoughts on?
If someone were to pull the plug on the simulations though, like, could it be that like we all just power down, or is it like Wreck-It Ralph? Or did you ever see the film Guy?
I love Wreck-It Ralph. I didn't like Guy too much.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that everyone's living their own film or movie or whatever.
Do you think? Would you rather your life was a film or it was a TV show? Right.
Yeah, I'd rather TV show.
But it could end up being one of those like TV shows that people are like, oh, this should have ended long ago.
That's when we die young.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because then it'll end at right time.
But you need to make sure that the arc is complete.
No, it's going to die in a cliffhanger.
Oh,
I'm that person.
You would be, actually.
I like shows that end and you never get the answers from them.
You're not right. Like,
I don't think that every show needs to be like a well-rounded thing. Like, I like shows that do, but I think that all shows should be left interpretation that they could reopen at any point.
I don't mind things that I can make my own interpretations from, but you know when you have to Google like what happened to understand, I hate that.
Yeah, but I just feel like I don't mind if a show is rounded off in a cliffhanger, I'm not mad at it. I think that sometimes like naturally that's how it ends, I'm fine. I'm like, no, I get that it's ended here. Don't think everything needs to be a 7 million part series of and well rounded and well finished off to accept that it's like that's so unrealistic. Plus, I'm severely damaged from the How I Met Your Mother ending, and I'll never get over it, so I don't need another ending for a show.
Oh, that was trash.
Everything about that show now I despise.
Yeah, right up until the last season, I was loving life.
Yeah,
and
I just think that
you know,
sometimes you don't need to give everyone the answers.
Yeah.
Can you hear
pigeons?
Pigeons.
Yeah, it felt like
it feels like they're in the walls. I don't. You guys probably won't have heard pigeons, but
there was definitely
pigeons.
Oh my god! It's because it's the creators of the simulation lugging in to hear what we're trying to say because we've figured out the simulation. Because the birds work for the bourgeoisie.
Well, on this episode of Conspiracies, let's move on to our Would You Rathers, since we're just out in all of our conspiracy theories.
Yep. Don't come for us.
Okay, so I asked some folk for a Would You Rather. And I somewhat regret it. And the Would You Rather I got was... no, wrong bit. So the Would You Rather that I got was, would you rather be stabbed by a homeless man or stab a homeless man? And in both scenarios there was no reason behind it. So you're just out here stabbing homeless people, or they're stabbing you, and there's no reason, no rhyme or reason for it. It just happens.
I'd like to be stabbed by a homeless person. I don't think I have it in me to stab anyone.
Yeah.
But also, not that I would want to actually be stabbed, but like it would be interesting to know how much it hurts.
I feel like if I'm going to stab someone, there needs to be a reason for it. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just stab someone homeless for the sake,
Yeah.
like, for the sake of stabbing them.
Yeah, I
if
feel
I'm going to
they've
stab
got
someone,
enough-
it's going to be like someone with money.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they've got enough going on. They don't need a fucking stabbing on top of that. Do you know what I
Like, they're
mean?
probably getting stabbed by somebody
Yeah.
else. Why don't you get involved?
The only thing is, the only thing I could think of that I'm being stabbed by a homeless person is that they want my money and I've not got any.
Yeah. I mean, so there's no reason why they stab you. They
yeah,
just stab
they
you.
could just dislike me and
Yeah.
stab me. I
would rather be stabbed than
Yeah,
stab. I'm
me
also
too.
terrified of blood. Both scenarios are awful.
Yeah, but I think no, I would rather be stabbed because, like, it would either that'd finish me off, or I could go around with a really cool stabbing story. Yeah.
The fact that you've got a story that you that's
like,
terrible. That's not a good
I'm
thing.
not just a bitch. I'm a bitch with a backstory.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I just think it would be pretty grim if you stabbed a homeless person.
Yeah, no,
Just be
because
a
then I have to
dickhead.
live with that on my conscience. I'd probably have to go to jail.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I'm not up for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you get time off work if you get stabbed.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
So it's going back to it. You
It's
get
a
time off
win-win.
life, you get
Yeah.
to sit down, chill
Yeah.
out, or
That's
you
all
would
about-
die, either or.
Just what a wee sweet.
Yeah, just for a rest time. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah. What a wild one.
Yeah, that is rogue. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah,
That's
but-
a good one.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
think that we're both getting stabbed then.
Yeah. Okay, so my question to you is: would you rather be the next baby mum of Elon Musk or Boris Johnson?
Ew.
They're both awful.
That's both awful choices.
So my
They're
rationale
very
behind
unattractive
it,
men as
yeah,
well.
horrible. Also, they've both got loads of different children, loads of different women.
Yeah. I hate this question.
I thought you might.
Don't really want to be a baby mum in general.
Yeah.
Who do you think pays more child support?
I reckon Elon. Elon's is a
I
billionaire.
don't know. I feel like he chooses his favourite children.
Maybe. But you've also, like, Boris Johnson, a horrible, horrible human, but hasn't, as far as I'm aware, exhibited Nazi similar. He's probably alluded to something. Yeah. I mean, still not a nice man. So,
They're
either
both
way, it's
horrible.
a lose-lose. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I forgot that I would also have to answer this question.
I feel like you've really ruined my day with this question.
yeah.
I just feel like none of them are good in bed either. Like they do.
Bad vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would go with Boris Johnson. Only because at least he's maybe like a little bit funny.
Yeah.
Like he did do that zipline thing. That's a little bit funny.
Also, like, if you were particularly scary to him, he would just run away and hide in a fridge. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Elon Musk would run away from...
Yeah. I just feel like Elon Musk is flying too close to danger. Like,
yeah.
That man is not real.
Yeah.
No! I was watching the Kardashians, right? That show is wild. So they went to some biochemical guy to talk about like reverse aging or something like that. You cannot
course.
convince me that LA's not a cult. Like fame is a cult.
Oh, it is.
Like proper
Yeah.
LA living that life fame is cult behaviour. And they went to this man to talk about it, and like all these neuroscientists were talking about it, and he was like, I don't drink, his skin looked like glass, like and the way that he spoke to you was as if a robot was speaking to you, like and he was like, sometimes people think I'm AI, and I'm like, no fucking wonder, babe, you look like AI.
Do you know who would say that? Someone that was made of AI.
Like even the way he would ask things or the way he
Yeah.
would pose the question, I would be like, that's not a normal way to answer. And he would start to say stuff, and then his wee pal would like start answering for him. Like kind of.
What do you mean his wee pal?
One of the neuroscientists. I'm just going with wee pal. She's got wee pal. They're going and going, whoa. But I felt so uncomfortable watching
Yeah.
the scene because I was just like, this. like, this is weird. This is weird that this man exists, and like, what do you mean he's like reverse aging himself? Like, can't people just age with dignity?
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I feel like Elon Musk is too close to all of that.
I was at yeah, definitely. Definitely lizard adjacent.
Yeah.
I was at
I feel like conspiracy episode.
I was at a community event here not that long ago, and there was people talking about reverse aging and something to do with like they had these like it looked like nicotine patches that had something.
These patches are like big just now, not just for like nicotine.
Yeah.
I've seen ones that are like weight loss ones.
Yeah, but like there was 3 people round the table peddling them, right? I didn't properly go up to speak to them, but I'd heard people talking about it. They all looked old as fuck. I was like, I don't know what you think you're selling here.
I don't really care about looking
no,
old.
me neither. Like, I just feel, one, I don't have the money for any of that, but also,
like, even if I did have the money, I just think that it's just so nice to age.
yeah.
Like, I think it's really beautiful. Like,
I can't wait to have grey
I
hair.
look at my grandparents, R.I.P. to some of them, right? But if I look at my current gran that's alive, she is beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
she is such a pretty lady, and it's like she's just aged naturally.
Did we learn nothing from that scene in Barbie when she's on the bench with the old lady?
Like,
Did we learn nothing?
like I have been blessed with like that my family seem to age quite nicely. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so blessed. Like, so many of my family members, I'm like, oh, you guys just look great. Like, and I think like we're looking after ourselves more as well. So we're naturally going to age differently. But I'm like, why is everyone so scared of a wrinkle?
I know.
They're pretty.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know
why.
why.
Maybe I've got
And why
warped view,
are
but
we
I think-
talking? Why are we anything with the word plasma?
Yeah,
No.
no. I just think I would look so cute as a wee granny.
Oh, I can't wait. I would love to go grey young.
I want to be. So I don't think that I want to actually be a parent, so then I wouldn't be a grandparent. But I would like to be one of those grands that are like adopted by a bunch of girls in their 20s.
Yeah.
They just are like, oh, this is my wee granny neighbour and we love her. And I'd be like, yeah, girls, let's do shots.
Yeah.
Like my downstairs neighbour, now granted she had kids and all that, but in my last flat she was in her 70s and she was just out drinking all the time.
Yeah.
And she would just randomly have me down, and I'm like, I don't imagine that if my pals were over at Ming more often and all that, we would have just adopted her as one of our own.
Yeah.
Like, if I lived in that flat for longer, I would have just been like, right, Mo, come on over. You're getting drunk with the girls and all that. I could have fully it. And I see that for myself.
That's so cute. Yeah. I like that that's the kind of granny you'll be. I will absolutely be the rich drunk auntie that takes all like my friends' kids to get their tattoos and their piercings and stuff. But then I'm gonna be a granny as well. No kids of my own, but yeah. But I think I was born to just be one of those grannies that like stands and waves at the window until you're there,
cute.
like until you're away. I'll just be like, I'll just have loads of sweeties and I'll be like, you'll have to go and eat something. Like, just, yeah.
Cute. But yes, to answer your would you rather, I'm going to choose Boris.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think you'd have to.
Awful.
I mean, awful choice.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. I think he tried to say that he didn't have as many kids, but apparently Elon's been ignoring a lot of his baby mums recently as well.
At the end of the day, they're both horrible, horrible men that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So yeah, on that note,
There we go.
we hate men. No, kidding.
We hate men. The
No,
whole
we
world's
don't.
a simulation.
Yeah, so welcome to Brains Unpicked, where we just discuss conspiracy theories. So thank you for coming along to this week's episode. This has been episode 13. Yes, lucky 13. Please like, subscribe, rate, comment, send us emails. If you're from America, send us emails. Anything of the above, hate comments, anything. And thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Love you, bye.